Good evening. Welcome to the 1927 Club. A bit of a disappointing one tonight. First loss of the season, so we're going to dissect that briefly this evening. I have got a night shift, so I am preempting 45 minutes, but we've said that many a time before, and we're here for over an hour, so yes, we'll see what happens. But I am joined by Mr. Rhys David Evans. Good evening, sir. How are we?
Not bad. Not happy with the result, but not bad. Like yourself?
Yeah, all good, but busy day. Football this morning, and then with the boy, and then straight down the city. So, yes. But overall, feelings now after being home for an hour or so?
It's not as bad as we think, right? Let's be honest. We win our game in hand. We're top of the league again. It's only one loss, and let's be fair. It was against an experienced team, wasn't it? Let's be honest. I do think if we took our chances, we had plenty of chances today. If we took some of them, it'd be a different game. But I don't know. I just think we were lacking a bit in the final third. We struggled. We didn't know what to do with the ball in the final third, and then defensively, we should have done better for the first goal. The second goal, apparently, the third one is his own goal, but we should be doing better, stopping the cross coming in. NG gets beaten for pace over the ball in behind. Disappointing result, but it's not a right game of the season. We've got plenty more to go.
Yeah, I don't think, I've seen lots of messages flying around this, that and the other, and it's as if it's the end of the world already. But I think at the start of the season, if we had said, look, we'll be, come the end of September, you're one game off, being top of the league, then we would have bit people's hands off, I think, if we're being honest. I'm not too disappointed we lost. Obviously, I'm disappointed we lost, but it was the manner in which we lost. I think somebody put in the comments here it was like men versus boys today, and at times it was. Do you think Cav mentioned it last night, and I'll come on to talk about last night a little bit later. But I think somebody asked him the question last night about our young squad coming up against Bradford today. And he said he was concerned about the amount of youngsters we've got in the squad and the lack of leaders. Do you think that was a big thing today?
Yeah, I think after the second goal went in, I think you've seen a few of them. I don't want to say they crumbled, but they kind of went into themselves. And it was like similar displays for a few of them as it was last year, with misplaced passes. The first touch was letting them down. They were just lumping the ball away because I think got too scared to keep the ball. You are looking for a real leader on that pitch to try and get him, get into him. I think when Robinson came on, he changed the game for us. He settled players down. I think he did a lot of the hard work and picked the ball back up, bring the others into play. I think Robert brought that on, but no one else did. So, but yeah, it's a tough one because again, this is experienced football league side, right? And I think you could see that with some of the free kicks they were winning. I think we were a bit naive. We were just sliding in a bit too soon, or Rash, he's not need to Fisher's yellow card, for example. He loses the ball and he just tracks the man all the way around. We're trying to win the ball back, desperate to win the ball back, gives the foul away, gets the yellow card. Just get yourself back in position. Go back, regroup, recycle the ball, get it back, and go again. There's no need for it. I just think it's been naivety from a young squad. Nothing to worry about, though. Like I said, it's game 8 for us in the season. We've got plenty to go. I mean, there's going to be ups and downs. It's up to the manager now, though. We'll see now what the manager's made of when he gets into the players in training now. Goes back to basics, get them going again, and we kick on against Wigan next weekend.
Yeah, obviously between that, then obviously we've got Burnley in the cup. Do you think that could be a bit of a?
I we talking about this earlier. We're not going to consider this one of them because it's going to be a rotated squad again. It's going to be young side. You might see Lee Giles again. Kellerman might start to get some more minutes, but it'll be. I think it'll be a sort of not a weakened side because that's disrespectful. But I think you will see a big squad rotation for the game. So it'll just be getting minutes for Naya Cowell, probably get some minutes and stuff like that. So I don't mind. But it's like Saturday, Tuesday now, and it's already happening. And when you do have quite a smallish squad in terms of quality, you have to rotate now all the time just to keep the players fresh. So I do think the cup games there will be a lot of rotation. And it'll just be resting the main players for Saturday.
I think we talked last night about Bradford and, some of the results they've had, especially they've had some good cup results. And we knew it was going to be a difficult game today. And they just didn't allow us to play football. We looked sloppy. We couldn't string two passes together. And they were a lot hungrier than what we were, a lot more clinical. I know you said there at the beginning that we had plenty of chances. It could have turned the game. But if you flip out on the other side as well, Bradford could have scored 5 or 6 easy today. I think we were lucky in a sense. It was only 3-1, to be honest.
And like we said earlier, it's not. I don't want to say it's a worrying trend, right? But I think Port Vale, poor performance. Wimbledon, until we scored, poor performance. Stockport, poor performance. We've been lucky with a few of them. I think if we didn't pick up the points we did against them and we lost today, then there would be a lot of fans asking questions. But we picked up results against them. So today is not a free pass, so to say. But you see there's work needs to be done. And I do think we're missing. I think I'd rather see Oshaw play the 6. I think apart from his penalty, I think he had a solid game. He carries the ball really well. He likes to tackle. He gets stuck in. He's not afraid to get stuck in. I can see him the 6, I would, if I'm honest with you. Have Lawler and Fish back together. I do think up top we're missing something. We all said Salek is doing a lot of hard work, and he is. But we are giving him chances, and he's not. It doesn't look like he's getting close to bearing it.
Yeah, no, agreed, Beth. And I think, again, we talked before, we come on live. You mentioned some of the games there, Port Vale. You can say Wimbledon. We scored a late goal there. Luton. We didn't have great games, and the teams we played there, they had chances and they could have gone. Port Vale, we robbed them of a point, really.
Yeah.
But I think what the difference was today, we kind of got out of jail cards against those teams, and you come up against Bradford today, and they were just more clinical in front of goal. Like I said, they could have scored another 3 or 4 quite easily, I think. And I know we had opportunities to score as well. And like you said, perhaps if some of them chances went in early doors, it would have been different. But I thought Bradford come and, everything I expected them to be, really. It was going to be a battle. And I just think they overpowered us in that midfield area. They were, a lot more pace than perhaps what we did. And we we couldn't play football.
They pressed us really well as well for the full 90 minutes. I think we tried to press them for a bit. I just think they found the pass a bit too easy. And then we sort of stood off them a bit more. And after, you come in after the second half thinking, right, if we settle down now the first 5 minutes, then try and nick a goal back, it's a different game. But to concede straight away from a minute or two after kick-off, it's very much similar to last season in some regards, that was. I thought we didn't even get going. That was disappointing. 1 or 2 players I thought like I said earlier, right, it's games where you can have 1 or 2 players who can carry them through if they're on a bad performance. Today there's about 5 or 6 on a very bad game, I thought. And you can't afford to carry that.
No.
It's just
one of those days. Let's go through it then. Let's go through the starting lineup and then we'll so we start with Nathan Trott. Obviously, prior to today, hadn't conceded a goal from open play. 2 goals from open play today, and obviously 1 penalty. But a couple of kicks not on the money today, wasn't it? To be fair,
yeah. Distribution was, to be fair enough. I said at the start of the game when they switched halves, didn't they? At the start of the game,
yeah,
we were attacking the Cantona first, and I said psychologically that's a massive difference to the players now, because it's usually the second half, the fans are up for it. And since that happened, I don't know, it might be nothing, but since they switched in, all of a sudden, it was like the passing was sloppy, distribution from the back was sloppy. And, it's a tough one. I mean, you can't save that first goal, let's be honest. The defence should be closing him down. But he pings that in top corner. No keeper's getting that.
No,
you can't blame him for that.
Great finish, like you said. But from a Cardiff point of view, what are we doing at corners? And even on attacking corners, how many today did we have? And it was over it.
Yeah.
And, there's 3 or 4 Cardiff players in the middle, all hugging each other. And for me, I'd rather go out to just create a bit more space. I don't know. It's, there's a Bradford fan in the chat. Thanks, Kev, for tuning in, buddy. Credit to the Cardiff fans recognising we were the better side by a country mile, 100%. But
yeah,
and fair play to you.
It's football, isn't it? It's going to happen. You're going to come up against teams that are going to be better on the day, like we did to Luton. We nicked a win against them, or you play Plymouth. We better team on the day, but then you could go away the week after and lose to a team you expected to beat. Sort of thing. It's just football. It happens all the time.
Quite noisy, the fans as well, weren't they, in fairness?
Yeah, I think they're the loudest fans we've had at the stadium for a while, I think. Like, Plymouth brought bigger numbers, and Plymouth were quiet all game. Even before we scored, they were quiet. To be fair to them, they were loud today.
Yeah, it's not
great travel as well.
I think I was speaking to somebody who drove down, a Bradford fan, and I think he said it's about 4.5 hours back. Like, so that's if the fans on coaches as well, you probably add an hour and a half on top of that. Like, so fair play to them all coming down.
It's a big club as well, to be fair.
Yeah, and on that performance and what they've done so far this season, they'll be right up there if they continue the way they're going as well. So fair play to them. Was you disappointed with the home attendance today? I was expecting a couple of thousand more, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, isn't it? We could be top of the league and we still won't sell out or come close to it. I don't know, something's gone on. Something's happened at Cardiff, really, isn't it? Where the fans just not flocking them or we're not. It's hard to figure out why, but you see a team of Bradford come up with the numbers and they're all that travelling, and we don't even come close to a decent crowd. I think it says 22,000, 2,000 with them, so 20,000. They count every season ticket holder. You can usually take 2 or 3 off that and say about 70,000 Cardiff fans. I mean, come on, we should be getting 24,000 at least home every game.
Yeah, I was expecting 26,000 here today, if I'm honest. So, it was disappointing, really. But fair play to the ones who did turn up. Ronan Kapakio went off half-time with a issue to his heel, apparently. Apparently, he's getting a scan tomorrow, so I don't know how serious that's going to be, but he wasn't quite at the races today for me. I don't know what you thought.
Yeah, I didn't think he did have the best of the game. I thought he was a bit sloppy.
Whether or not he was nursing that injury going into the game, I don't know.
And this is the worry, though, because again, say now he is out injured. I know we can say Lawler can play right back, but the way BBM wants to play, he wants an athletic and pacey full back. I think for the third goal try now, the ball goes in behind Chambers. He's not got the legs to get back. We're completely exposed on the wing. They get the ball in the box. They score the third goal because we haven't got the legs to get that position, that right back. So, but again, it's one game. It's the 8th game of the season for us. There's plenty more to go.
Yeah, let's not hit panic mode. What was your opinion on Perry NG coming on at half time for Ronan Kapakio?
Like I said, I just think he doesn't have the legs to be on a more narrow pitch. He'd be better, but I think today on a wider pitch, he was going forward and he gets exposed to the ball in behind, and they exploited that. But then again, his ball's coming at the top, and he's winning headers. He was getting stuck in. So, an average performance, I say, is nothing major bad, but it's. So when so many players didn't play as well, it's hard to just. It's hard to just be positive about things like that, all.
Yeah. Will Fish, distribution weren't as on point today for me, I don't think. Yeah,
a bit naive as well, especially when he picked his yellow card up. There's no need to track and follow the runner with the ball. Just get back in position and regroup. There's no need to track him. You You can see it coming a mile away. As soon as the guy goes near him, he's going to give a free kick. It's going to be a yellow card. It's a cynical foul. Missed out a few headers as well. I thought there was a few times I thought the ball's coming down. Just clear the lines. Just get your head down there, clear lines. I don't know if it's because he's playing next to someone new with Oshaw, but he seemed to struggle a bit, I thought.
Yeah. You mentioned a little bit about Oshaw. Other than the penalty, like you said, didn't have a bad game. Looks quite comfortable and confident when he got the ball at his feet coming out of defence, doesn't he?
Yeah, he carries the ball really well, I thought. Feeding the pass of the lines as well into midfield. I like to see him in a 6, if I'm honest. I would like to see him in a 6. I think, he doesn't mind getting stuck into a challenge. He looks strong. He's got legs. He can move. He carries the ball really well. I'd like to see him as a 6. I really would. I think it'd be unfair to see Lawler or Fish dropped for him to come in at the centre half. But then I think, not to say you've seen his vulnerabilities, but when Wintle, he gets bullied a bit too easy. I think I want to see an Oshaw there to see what he can offer, if I'm honest.
Yeah, no, good point. Joel Bagan, then, I probably thought he was probably our standout player today. I thought, again, didn't do anything majorly wrong or anything. Couple of over-it corners and things. But, just, again, I think we say a week in, week out, he's Mr. Consistent, isn't he, really?
Yeah, it's a decent performance. I think he looked a bit better left back than we did on the right-hand side today. I did think we were a bit too narrow, though, today. Our full-backs tucked in quite tight, they did. And they left us too much space out wide, and they just exploited that a few times, they did. I'm not sure what the thinking was today with that. I don't know if it's because he went with a front three a bit more compact, and they just thought, tuck the boys in and try and defend that. But it just left us completely exposed out wide.
Yeah, I agree. There's another Bradford fan in the chat as well. So any Bradford fans in, thank you very much for tuning in. He goes on to say, Bradford fan here. To be fair, you are a good team and you'll be up there at the end of the season, I'm sure. We just outthought you guys today. And I don't, every Cardiff fan, given the 3 or 4 or 5 games we've had at home so far, including the cup games, we've been pretty dominant. And I know we had 61% of the possession today, but I don't think we didn't use the ball like we have done in previous games, then, have we? But then I suppose we haven't come up against a team like Bradford who played like that against us at Cardiff City Stadium this season.
Yeah, but again, you look at the things they did well today, right? Is when they got the ball wide, they put the ball in the box. They got a third goal by putting the ball in the box. It's something we seem to refuse to do. We seem to try and walk it in all the time. We'll get the ball wide, we'll cut back, we'll look for the pass, and we'll pass across the lines, and we'll lose the ball. And it's frustrating. We just, the final third has been an issue for a while. We do seem a bit, it's undecided what to do with it. And again, they did it well.
You just mentioned there about walking the ball in the net. I think David Turnbull had an opportunity to strike the ball today. Rubin did. And I just think sometimes just put your laces through the ball. Have a go. What's the worst? It's going to go out for a goal kick. It's going to hit Rowe's head, which I know Rubin did towards the end. But we still look... We kind of not gone backwards too much, I should say, but we had the issue last year where they didn't have the confidence to strike outside the box, and everything had to kind of be within that box, for them to feel confident to have a goal. But I just think put your laces through it, have a go. We could hit the keeper, rebound, and I don't know. It was a frustrating one.
But there was one moment. There was a moment in the first half there was where Willock had the ball on the left, and Bagan was right behind him. Rubin and Salek, all 4 of them are together by the corner flag, passing amongst themselves. You're thinking, you're going to put that ball in the box and no one's going to be in the box because you're all stood there. Rubin shouldn't be there. Rubin should be running in the box. Salek should be in there already. Willock should be looking to get a cross in. I'm not blaming Willock because the ball went to Bagan, he didn't cross it. The ball then went to Rubin, who didn't cross it. Then the ball went out to play for a goal kick, I think. Or they nicked it off him. But there's 3 chances to put the ball in the box. Put a cross in. But they just seemed a bit hesitant with the ball. Yeah, they just try and walk it in, and it's frustrating to watch because Plymouth, we could have scored 4 or 5 more against Plymouth, but again, it's the same thing. We try and overplay it, try and be too clever with the ball.
Yeah, no, agreed. David Turnbull, obviously, prior to the international break, he'd had a bit of an issue with his groin, I think it was.
I'm not sure.
But obviously he's back in the starting lineup today. As I just mentioned, I think he had an opportunity at times. He could have put the ball well, not into the box, but I had a goal. I had a striker goal, but for whatever reason he didn't. Nice to see him back out on the field, though.
Yeah, I think he started brightly. I think as the game, second half, I did think he kind of went into himself a bit. He was rushing the ball. He was struggling with the ball at his feet. He wasn't making the impact we would want him to have. For the game, I don't know if I was tiredness because he's just come back from an injury. But I think as he went on, he did struggle a bit. But first half, I thought he was okay, if I'm honest. He was comfortable on the ball. I don't want to say upset the balance, but I just think today him, Rubin, and Wintles, they struggled all together.
Joel brought a bit more energy, but it was, the game was pretty much gone by that point, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think he should have come on, pretty much half-time type of thing?
I think...
Did we wait too long to make those attacking changes, really?
It's funny. It's a strange thing to say, really, when you think of bringing on a 21-year-old, I think he is. And that's going to be the only sort of physicality you've got on the pitch, then. Do you know what I mean? They were physical side, let's be honest. They are a physical side, and we couldn't match up to that. We got bullied far too much with it. And if you're bringing on a kid on who's our most physical player, you're thinking, we've got to be more aware of this happening to us throughout the season. I thought he should have come on earlier, but then I could have easily made 5 subs at half-time, I could have. So...
There's a comment here from Lee Griffiths. Evening, Lee. It's about time we got a bit nastier, getting bullied out of it.
Yeah, I agree. It's a dark arts, isn't it, really? I mean, I'm not saying they are full of dark arts, but they're an experienced league side, these are, Bradford, and we were very naive today. And I think it shows... This is where, like Cav said, you do need 1 or 2 leaders amongst them just to get things going, just to talk through the game. I thought Robo brought that when he came on. But like I said, at that point, the game's gone. And it's one man trying to do the job for everyone else. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out for us. Yeah,
he looked as if he brought plenty of energy. He was keen every time the ball went out, he was going to get it. But like I said, when you're 3, you can't go into the last, 25, 30 minutes of a game chasing a 3-0 deficit. It's game over type of thing. And glad to see him get a goal because obviously, of course, with the one he had in midweek against Exeter as well. Yeah. So hopefully that'll give him a bit of confidence. I would imagine he'll probably end up starting against Burnley. But I don't know, because I wouldn't be surprised if he gets the nod over Salek up in Wigan next week now.
Yeah, he's come under some criticism, to be fair, Robo. But I think, was it the Plymouth game we went to? He came on and he's finding the right spaces. He could have scored 3 or 4 goals if they passed to him. He was doing the stuff today, like the hard work today, tracking back, picking the ball up, bringing others into play, carrying the ball well. I'm happy he scored. It's funny because, again, he's had half a chance, he scores. Salek is having quite a few chances, he's not scoring. And again, he's doing other things well. He's holding up defenders, he's bringing others into play. But I just think it's going to start, he snatched the chances then because I think his confidence is there. I think I need to get a goal. I got to score. So he snatched the chances. Just rest him for a week or 2, play Robo and see what happens. You can play Isaac up top as well. The pace, because it can terrify defenders having pace run that too.
Yeah, agreed. Kevin, the Bradford fan, well done, guys. I like your fair appraisals compared to, say, the Huddersfield tossers, I'm guessing now, as last week. Great discussion. Good luck going forward. I think you need some old heads in there. I think you're right, buddy.
To be fair, the only team we ever slate is Swansea, so we'll be honest with every other team, but once it comes to Swansea,
it's something we've said on the show many a time. I'll have a different opinion to you sometimes, and everybody's got the right to their opinion. We're not going to slate anybody on you. We wouldn't expect anybody in the comments to slate anybody else on you. We've all got opinions, and unfortunately today, our opinions were Cardiff were shit. But never mind. This is an interesting one from Paul because I was sat in the family stand with my boy today and thinking, why are we playing this tippy-tappy football at the back when we're 3-0 down and we're chasing the game? But Paul says, tells our mindset, 10 minutes to go, free kick on halfway and we pass the ball around. Why aren't we pumping it into the box to give Bradford something to think about? But no, let's play keep ball.
I agree. Again, it's 10 minutes ago. You've just scored a goal, right?
Obviously, in fairness, the crowd were brilliant, I thought, after we scored a goal, and kind of got, you think, because there was 8 minutes of injury time as well, wasn't it?
I'm not saying Bradford will panic, right? But straight away they did go, right, let's just stop them getting the next goal for the next 5 minutes. If we do that, we take the stick out the game. So automatically they'll take 5 yards back, they will. At that point, we should be pinging balls in the box, getting bodies in the box and flooding the box. But we don't. We just pass it back. But again, it's hard to be critical though, because again, this is the first loss we've had. And obviously we've lost the 3-1 at home. So we will all be, I know emotions are running high, we are unhappy, we are angry. But it's not the end of the world. But yeah, it's things like that I do wind me up a bit. Just put the ball in the box, get bodies in there. Just try and win a flick down. Robbo's goal was because of a deflection after an offshore shot there. Bounces to him, he puts in the net. He's in the right place. It's just, there's a ball in the box for him to score. Put the ball in the box.
Yeah, no, agreed. Ryan Wintle picked up a yellow card as well today, didn't he?
Didn't have the best gear. I thought he got bullied a bit a few times today from Morrison.
He wasn't the only one out there to get bullied, was he?
No. He's the senior player though, and that's nothing against him, right? But you go 2-0 down at home. They score the third just after half time. This is where you need older heads on that side to go, right, come on lads, just take a deep breath, let's get back into it, come on. And I'm not saying he doesn't have that, but if he's your senior leader, there's a worry for me, that is, because again, you need a bit more, I think.
Yeah, no, agreed. But there's another couple of comments in here I wanted to touch upon before we move on. Lots of Bradford fans tuning in tonight. Thank you very much. If you can share if you're in any WhatsApp groups or anything and you want to share it with your fans, please do. Any support that we can have is massively appreciated. Paul says, I thought you lot were very good, just outfought by our lot. You'll be right up there at the end of the season. Cheers, Paul, and thanks for tuning in, buddy. Paul says, going back to talk about one of the Bradford guys, Kevin, this channel's honest. If we get beat, which we did, we'll say Bradford were better today. Now, this is an interesting one because this was a conversation that was in the WhatsApp group when I was travelling home. I didn't look at the messages because I was driving, honest. But I did see it when I got home. Lee Griffith says, I'll probably get slaughtered for this, but Saleh is not for me. Never has been. Works hard, but I honestly think his finishing is poor. Even warming up, it's bad. Useless Saleh, I call him. I wouldn't necessarily agree with it all, but there was discussions in the group earlier when I was saying that he doesn't look quite with it at the moment. Putting that mildly, I think. Yeah,
and again, we have given him chances, and it's just, you expect better from a striker, let's be honest, who scored 8 goals in the Championship last season, I think it was. We'll all expect him to get 15 to 20 goals this year in this league. That's no disrespect to the league, but you've got a striker who can do 8 to the Championship, in 6 months. You expect him to do it. As long as we're feeding him and supplying him, you expect him to score. And unfortunately, he's not scoring. He's doing everything else well, which is what you want. But he just needs to start bearing some of his chances. I think the keeper's there. Put the ball either side of the keeper. He doesn't. He puts it straight to the keeper. Even when the ball's at the feet as well. Like today now, he had a chance to shoot straight at the defender. But again, if that defender wasn't there, it's going straight to the keeper anyway. Yeah. It's got to be a bit more. I don't know what. It's just. I don't know if it's. Robinson's goal against Swansea last season. He knows the keeper's got to be in one position, so he tries and hits it to the far corner, and that's how he scores against the Jacks. He's aware where the keeper will be before he's even taking the shot. I just think Saleh needs to be a bit more like that, be a bit more ruthless. And hopefully, they're working with him in training every day, hopefully. They are trying to get it up there. We don't know if he's carrying knocks. We don't know if he's frustrated in games, so therefore his mind's on other things. We don't know, but he's got to start, just doing it, though. I just wanted to say as well, right, obviously it's the first time we've lost a game this season, so a lot of what we're saying tonight is going to sound negative, but I think that's only natural in it. We don't obviously, but obviously, we can't, like I said earlier, if we was offered this start before the season started, we would have bit your hands off. So I think it's testament to what we've done up until this point that, we're so disappointed with today's result.
like you said, let's just hope they can get back on that training field now. No doubt he'll have them in there tomorrow, recovering, and hopefully we can move on ready for Wigan next week.
That's the thing. You could beat Wigan next week 5-6-0. Not saying it will, but you could. And all of a sudden, then we've forgotten about this game. We just move on. So it's just, again, we're all a bit deflated after that performance and the results. So we'll just go again now next week.
Yeah. Sam says, also, don't know if I'm proper exaggerating, but that was worse than most recent games I've seen at home last year. Hopefully we have a side who can really bounce back at Wigan and put it right.
I don't think it was worse than most games last season. I think on the attack, we still look quite threatening in some parts. I think Salek had about 4 headers today on goal. He buries one of them. You know, it's a different game because he's scoring early or something. He hits the crossbar for one of them. I mean, Rubin has a couple of shots, and unfortunately, he's sky young. But you do think if you just bury one of them chances, it's a different game. I think on the attack, we looked okay, especially 70 minutes. The game was gone. The changes were made, and I think we did start looking a bit more attacking. We did get on the ball a bit more. You know, we played a bit more fluid football. I just think it took us 70 minutes to get going, sadly, I think.
Yeah. And against a good side, you can't afford to give them 70 minutes head start and 3 goals. This is something we mentioned a little bit earlier. Peter says, we ain't feeding Salek the crosses, though, in his defence. Stockport, prime example, got his head on and scored. Yeah, I think you mentioned earlier, I didn't know about the wingers and Keane Ashford in particular then.
Yeah.
I don't know, he just didn't look confident today, did he? He's got the pace to go and beat players. But again, it just looked as if it's not his usual self today. And he was the same in the week. I don't know, with obviously that red card he had in the week. And there was a bit something publicised when that he was had some stick with the extra fans, I think.
But again, you've got to get that as a professional footballer. But again, he had chances today, mind. I think it's just before half time, the ball comes across, he side foots it and it just goes completely wide. I think it's tough. It's hard to be negative on the youngsters, right? Because again, they are youngsters, they're still learning, and I want them to do well, and they are Cardiff boys. So I won't be too critical of him. He does need to knuckle down a bit more, and I do think maybe it's time to start Isaac Davis wide. I think he does offer something different, Isaac does. And he can bring Ashford on later on, change the game a bit. Like we said against Exeter, he looked brilliant. But like we said earlier, we get the ball wide, we sort of cut back, we look for the pass rather than the cross. We overwork the ball, we lose the ball. And it gets frustrating.
I think the amount of times today that when Willock was on the left, I think Bagan kind of overlapped him and the ball could have gone back to Bagan for the ball to go in the box. But we kind of cut back inside and that pass comes back into the middle rather than going down the wing then and whipping it in. I just think there's so many lost opportunities here. And it's something you've said loads and loads of times. That ball goes in the box, you take a deflection or, a rebound or something, anything can happen, can't it?
The third goal today, deflection, they score. Because they put the ball in the box. And it's just, again, we seem to overwork the ball, and it feels like sometimes we're trying to walk it in. We're trying to score the perfect goal we are, rather than just getting a goal.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating, and it's not just now, this season. It's been like it's for the last 3 or 4 years. We seem to come to the final third, and we run sure we're trying to run the ball in the box and look for the pass, rather than just drill that ball in and get a foot on the end of it. We've got players who run us in the box. We've got players who can get in the box. But put the ball in, let them do something with it.
Yeah. No, agreed. Paul says he agrees in part with Lee. Salek seems to me to moan all the time at refs when 50% of the time he's at fault. Should concentrate on the messes and where he's going. Now, this is an interesting one because I listened to a Craig Bellamy interview or podcast about a week ago, I think, and he said about the throwing arms in the air and stuff, he doesn't have it. No, I think we need to kind of adopt that at the moment because I suppose he's losing energy, and do you know what I mean? Or wasting energy, I should say, by trying to appeal everything. And, it's a difficult one because I don't think he got properly manhandled as much as he have done in some of the games today, but he does a bit, doesn't he, in fairness to him.
There was one moment in the first half, to be fair, where one of the Bradford players was on his back and the ref gave nothing, and I understand why he's getting upset, right?
But do you think he's getting a bit of a reputation now, perhaps?
He might be, but I'm trying to think now. So the last few years we've had a Tete up top. And the same thing would happen to a Tete. He'd start moaning for the ref to give a free kick. The ref wouldn't give it. A Tete then was just throw his hands in the air, put his head down, and just sulk all game. I think Salek gets wound up and he goes looking for he's looking for revenge, and he goes and he leaves an elbow in or something. That's the worry for me, see then, because he will get wound up and he will do something stupid, I think, and he could get sent off. But again, if you're at a centre half now and you're watching Cardiff, I'm targeting him every game. Every game, I'm going to be all over him. I'm going to target him just because I know he'll do this. And he'll drop deeper and deeper and deeper to get the ball. And all of a sudden, when he just drops deep enough, there's no one behind him. So when we do go to the attack, there's no forward pass for him to make. It's all back to the midfield. Then we're waiting for him to go forward before we can make the next pass. And it's that it is. I think that's the worry for me then.
Right. Before we talk about the rest of the players in the squad, I'm going to play a little ad. We'll come back to some of the comments. And then we'll talk a little bit more about the rest of the players. So here's a little video from the boss man.
This episode of Cardiff City World is brought to you by Coral, the proud sponsor of the TalkSport Fan Network, here for all kinds of fans. For the armchair experts, whether you're constantly negative, overly positive, or maybe even the instant over-the-top reaction social media guy or girl, for the football fashionistas still clinging to the legendary terrace fashion of yesteryear, or the best retro gear from Michael Thorne, the nostalgia merchants dreaming of the old lady Ninian Park, or still celebrating Campbell's goal in the Millennium Stadium, whatever kind of fan you are, with Coral's free-to-play reward shaker with a guaranteed daily reward or offer throughout the season, simply shake your phone to win. Over 18s only. Maximum one reward or offer per player per day, 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. Reward restrictions and requirements and other T's and C's apply. For more information on safer gambling, visit gambleaware.org.
Happy days. Right, let's have a look at some of these comments before we dip back in. CJ says, unbeaten, wasn't going to last forever. We lost to a good team that's going to be there or thereabouts at the end of the season. We didn't play well at all. A lot of players off today. See how we take this loss next game.
I think that's a good point as well, Mike, to say you lost to a good team that's going to be there or thereabouts. If you're losing games to like the team's fighting relegation, you're thinking, all right, something's not quite the right there. But if you're losing to a team that's at the top, you can then go, right, this is a top side of playing against now. I'm gutted we lost, but I can see this is a team that's going to be there about. I mean, so you see the standard we've got to try and maintain, like.
Yeah, no, agreed. But halftime oranges says Salek is alone up there. Poor service. We aren't playing to his strengths. He's great with his head. He's getting manhandled and is then off little use because we aren't offering an alternate threat.
I think I'd say like 4 does. I think he hit the bar once and the other 3 straight to keep his hands. Yeah. He's getting service, not enough though. I agree with that. Not enough service, but he is getting service. And I just think he's got to start bearing some of these chances.
Yeah. Paul is still on the bus on the way home to Bradford. He's watching the stream on the coach back up to the home of the Chickens. We had a setback against Doncaster, but bounced back. All about character for your next game. You can put it right. And I'm sure we will, Paul. Fingers crossed.
It's a young side. It's a very young side. We've got a lot of kids. And again, it's just a tough one because the mentality of these kids now will be on show now. How they handle a setback like this. How do they come back from this? And then if we do start winning games again, how will they handle the pressure of being at the top end of the table with the pack chasing them? So it's a brilliant learning curve for some of these youngsters to be in.
Yeah. Sam says, I think it was just how badly we got bullied for me. Reminded me a lot of last year. I agree. If Kian gets his head on that, it would probably be a much different game. Sue's, evening. Nice to see you at the Cav event last night. So much better second half. Hate being critical of anyone, but it's time Davis starts ahead of Ashford. Yeah, it's obviously been well publicised that he's been managing him getting back into, full fitness. But for me, I think he's knocking on that door now, and he's got to be.
Yeah. Again,
And,
if you can do 40 minutes, surely you can do 60 minutes now. So, I mean, Kellerman come on as well, and Kellerman looked quite lively, I thought, today. I think, he's not quite there yet, fitness-wise, but he's looking like if we can get him there, he could be something. I thought, worked the wing pretty well, got beyond the defender, put the ball in the box. He slipped at one point, but I thought he had a solid game, to be fair to him, when he came on.
Yeah, not bad for a 19-year-old, is he? Or 20 now, I think he I'm long turn 20. Louise, good evening. We saw Ashford play for Wales under 21s. The boy looks shattered. I don't know. It's not a tired thing, I don't think, because they only played in Newport, didn't they? So he hasn't travelled to Kazakhstan and then back to play against Canada like the senior boys had to. I don't know. I just don't know if there's something going on behind the scenes. I don't know. I just hope, because I know he's had his issues in the past. Whatever it is, he's a great player. I loved him, and I still do. He's got so much talent and raw ability. But for whatever reason, we haven't seen it over the last couple of games. But no doubt, like you said, he's a youngster. He'll learn from things from today, and hopefully, like I said, he'll bounce back. Sue said Salek had more space today, but we're not feeding him the crosses. And I think the crosses that we did feed him probably didn't have enough pace on him, so he didn't have enough. Do you know what I mean? He had the headers on target, but there weren't enough power. It's difficult then, isn't it?
It's the floaters we get in there. The floaters, and it's just, you can't build much power. You just direct the ball. If the pace comes in, you just flicking it on. All of a sudden, it's back of the net. But it's something we got to work on. In the final third, we always attack the wings. We get the ball wide, but we just never cross it. And when we do, like we said, it's just a floating cross rather than ping the ball in like.
And like you said, there's a couple of people have said in the comments how prolific, Saleh can be with his head and how good he has been with his head in the past for us. So, why aren't we doing it? There's got to be a reason why we're not doing it, surely. But who are we? But we are just here on a Saturday night just to
1927 club, but that's who we are.
Yeah. Sam says Isaac has one of the best goals per minute ratio so far. Loved Ashford's work rate in majority of games, but maybe time he sits out and gets some support from the coaching staff. Sue says Davis came off the bench, but for me was our man of the match. I don't think he probably get man. I think he only came on for like 20, 25 minutes, did he? Or was it 54th minute? I can't remember.
50th odd minute he came on with him, Robbo and Kellyman. Robbo's my man of the match, by the way. I just thought when Robbo came on, he changed the game for us. I thought, he worked really hard. He started playing football again. He was finding space. Because he was finding space, it meant Rubin was in the space because defenders were trying to close him down and leaving Rubin open. And I just thought Robbo changed it for us. I thought we looked a lot better when he came on. And, it's easy to say that because of how bad some of the performances were. But like I said, Robbo's my man of the match today for me.
Sam, go back to that comment I made about the Bellamy interview. That Bellamy interview was one of the best I've seen. I took a lot from it and definitely some things that can be taken on board. Salek had 4 chances from crosses. Against other teams, he's had nothing. So for me, he's had 4 headers and 1 against the bar. We can't complain he didn't get service. I think we just touched upon that as well. JT, good evening, buddy. Facing the cant in the first half rattled us.
Said that earlier, yeah. I think psychologically they must have had an effect on them because it just, I don't know, we just didn't cut the traps to me. I think it took us a while to get going. But yeah, again, if you're the away team, you do that. You see that's a way to rattle a team. Fair play to him. I'm surprised he did it because surely you want to be scoring against your fans at the second half. I mean, so.
I don't know. Perhaps that was the game plan, wasn't it? To come out firing, all guns blazing type of thing. See if they can nick a goal, and it worked. It worked perfect for them, in fairness. Again, this comes down to perhaps a little lack of experience and leadership. Bradford players were in the ref's ear all game. Again, there was a couple of dubious decisions, I think, that went against us. Only like throw-ins, and I think it was a free kick early doors that they. The one who scored the first goal, Tommy Lee, I think he struck a free kick, didn't he? Just went wide. pretty much early doors, first 10 minutes, I think. But yeah, that wasn't a free kick. He had the ball as well. But JT says, I couldn't think of anything more inspiring having to attack the second half than having to attack the family end second half. Yeah, I'm sat in the family end, but there's nothing wrong with the family end. Lee Griffith says, you're right, Matt. No need to panic. 2 points per game average will get you there. I do think we overplay. Don't put enough crosses into the box and cannot defend the ball into the box. I think Dylan Lawler was a big loss today. I know Osho come in and he haven't done too bad. Obviously, that rash lunge for the penalty, but I just hope Lawler's not out. I haven't seen anything. Yeah. I think they said he trained yesterday, but the medical team weren't happy to sign him off fit to play for today. So I don't know what that kind of means long term. I don't think he'd probably play him Tuesday away at Burnley, and hopefully, he'll be fit to play against Wigan next week. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Hayden Edwards says Ashford needs a rest ASAP. Paul says Kellyman looks like a player.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he looked really good. He came on, to be fair to him.
Lee says we should know by now anyway that when we build up a nice crowd, we don't perform. Done it 32 years, I know of. Never mind, see where we go. Have to say, loving this Willock resurgence. Mind got buckets loads of stick, but looks like he's got his head down in recent weeks.
I think he had a quiet game today, but I agree. I think it's good to see him finally start playing some good football. And I think the exciting thing is if BBM can change the fortune to Willock and get him playing good football, then you're hoping he can do the same for Alex Robertson, because there's a player there. We just yet to see it. I think if you can get him to do it, go in. Why can't
I got to the ground late today because I was waiting for my boys' mates. And Robertson pulled up into the car park about quarter to 2, I think it was. So, yeah, I was surprised. Obviously, it was just before quarter to 2 because obviously the teams weren't announced. But, yeah, it's just, I don't know. The sooner we can get him back in the side, the better, I think. Just need a bit of spark and energy in that midfield, I think.
Yeah.
Thought we didn't play badly. Just didn't take our chances. Never going to win on them all. Still top 6 with a game in hand. Keep the faith. Keep the faith we will, Cameron, my friend. As we said earlier, game in hand.
Top of the league with that.
Yeah. As soon as I seen us switch ends, knew it was going to be a long 90.
I can't remember the last time we won a game when we played up that end first half. I'm struggling to think of one. I think Stoke, maybe. Did we beat Stoke? I think it scored in 5 minutes. Ahead up that end. Other than that, I know we played Preston 2 years ago. We lost 2-0. I don't know, because they scored for 30 minutes, and the guy by us went, fuck it, I'm going home now. After 30 minutes. I still remember that one.
Yeah, I still stayed to the end. We used to go home, haven't we?
Yeah,
when they take in pens, attacking the family stand, half of it's empty, so no intimidating the pen taker. I don't know, there's a few where all the kids were waving their arms. I don't know what it looks like from obviously where you guys are sat and that, but yeah. This is a good point from Graham. When is it our turn for a penalty? What have we had, 3 or 4 against us now this year?
One thing, I was talking about this earlier, is when you lose a game, it's easy to sit and say the referees are poor, right, when you're losing games. But before today, we've been winning games, right, and we're still saying the refereeing's really poor. The standard in this league is awful in refereeing. I've never seen this bad in football. It's just, it is a shock. I don't know. I know there's a 4th official who rates the referees' performance after every game. I would love to see some of the ratings we've had so far from this season of the referees, because they've been absolutely dire some games.
Yeah, not good. Howell says we didn't work the keeper enough, in my opinion. Pitch was wet. Get the ball on target. Anything can happen on a wet pitch. Do we know if the team will stay up Lancashire way after Burnley? London, travelling otherwise, and knackered players. I don't know. I wouldn't imagine they'll stay up there. Travel up on probably Monday afternoon. They'll stay Monday night, play the game Tuesday. I wouldn't imagine they'll stay up here then until Saturday, would they?
I don't know. Depends if it's the budget, not really. No. But otherwise, it's travel up by Tuesday, stay there probably to Wednesday, come back, maybe you'll come back Tuesday night. But you don't want to travel on a bus Tuesday night after the game. You'll get cramps and hamstring issues. So it'll probably be Wednesday. And then back up on a Thursday or Friday, which is not ideal, but...
Yeah, it's the groin strain Dylan Lawler's got, which he picked up when he was on Welsh duty. So, yeah, get the magic sponge out on him. Right, going back to some of the players then. Rubin Colwill. Now, I think we had an opportunity the first 2 minutes where he kind of he got hold of the ball, made a 10, 15-yard dash towards the goals. And I thought, bloody hell, if they give him this much space all game, he's going to be laughing. But that kind of never happened in the end. I think he had glimpses and he had chances, didn't he? And I think like Stockport, they didn't give him a sniff. They were around him like a cheap suit, weren't he? But he did have time on the ball today at times. But yeah, it wasn't the Rubin of what we've seen over the last few weeks either today, I don't think.
Bit disappointed with the defensive side of the game today, I think, from him. A few times he let runners go past him rather than put a foot in, trying to win a tackle. The ball was nicked off him once or twice, way too easy, I thought. But you got to be busting the gut to get back after that. At least get back in position, but he's just slow jogging back. Bit disappointed, say, Rubin. But again, another youngster, I don't want to be critical of. It's tough. Like, again, if he's going to play... If he can get 8 to 9 games out of 10 playing brilliant football and have one bad game, you take that, don't you? And again, stays just that one bad day, like The Office.
I wonder if the players are sat at home now, annoyed at losing today.
Well, they're watching this, they are, so they're a bit happier.
You are then, right? So if there's any Cardiff City first team squad players watching this tonight, what would you say to them, Rhys?
What would I say to them?
Yeah.
Right, it's after 9 o'clock now, isn't it?
No, not yet.
Nah, I'd just say, just one bad day in the office. That's all it is. Get your head back down, get in training. You train like you play. You give 100% training, and on Saturday, you go out there and put a performance in. If you give 100%, like the fans can see it, and you lose, you come away and you go, like, nothing we can do. But, 9 times out of 10, if they give 100%, they're going to beat every team in front of them. So just get down, go again, and then try and come on the show with us one day.
Happy days. Right. Who else have we got? We've talked about Ashford and we're slightly disappointed. Chris Willock, I think you said he had a quiet game today. He's definitely improving. Or I think he was quiet today, but he still always comes in on our right foot, though, doesn't he? Like I said, I think he had opportunities today where perhaps he could have played Bagan overlapping him.
Yeah, floats across it as well. Sometimes you just want to drill the ball in the box, get in there. And it's not just him, right? But like we said earlier, we get it wide, we pass along the lines instead of just put the ball in the box. It's frustrating. It must be a decision from the top down because it's been on for the last 3 or 4 years. Yeah. Just stop overworking the ball. But yeah, I think he had a bit of a quiet day today. Didn't do nothing wrong, really. But, it's just one of those days. I think a few of them had a quiet day and you just move on from it.
Yusuf Saleh, then. Do you think he'll have an opportunity on Tuesday night? Do you think they'll start him again? Or do you think they're going to mix it up and go something completely different?
I don't know. It's Burnley, right? And again, we got Wigan Saturday, then we'll have Burton on the Tuesday. You don't want to be playing your first 11. You want to rest some of these because, again, it's going to be Saturday, Tuesday now, and with a Virtual Cup for the next month or two. I'd like to see him play some youngsters, tying that Nayakawa, get minutes, Isaac Davis get a start, Kellerman get a start. I'd be happy for him to drop Saleh and I think you can't drop Robinson, can you really? He got a start. I'd start in the league though, Robinson, but Isaac
What's happened to Luke Pearce? Is he injured? Because I haven't seen him in the under-21s games He didn't go out on loan, did he?
No, he did go on loan. He did pick up an injury, I think, like about a month or two ago. When there was talk he'd picked up a knock. I don't know if he's still recovering from that, maybe. But again, at the minute, though, there's no place on the bench for him, unfortunately, because again, you look at the bench, you've got Callum Robinson, Joel Colwill, Kellerman, Then you got your defenders. There's no real place at the minute for him. I mean,
no, but obviously with the cup games and these virtual cup games, there's an opportunity to rest.
Yeah,
the boys that you want in the league. I think so. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he goes with Tuesday night, with obviously a view in mind for Wigan Saturday, because I think we'd probably be open and honest. We're probably not expected to go to Burnley and pick up a win there. Are we capable of doing it? 100% we are. But I won't be gut-wrenched if we don't come away with a win, because at least then, I'd love a cup run. But, I think the main priority is getting back into the Championship. And when you have cup games like that, I know it's great, but then me being the pessimistic person I am at times, to think it's another game we're playing, there's another risk of picking up injuries and knocks and things, and you just want all your best players, depending on obviously the side he's going to pick, fit for the league games on a Saturday.
And the worst thing is, it's such a shit draw as well, really, isn't it? Let's be honest, Burnley away. Of all teams you could have had, it's such a terrible draw. But again, I'd much rather the kids play on Tuesday and get them experience of playing away from home. Now, let's be honest, a Premier League club will probably play a weekend side themselves, but the weekend side will still be Premiership quality. And again, if, like BBM said today, you learn more when you lose games. Give the youngsters some minutes on Saturday, and see how they do against better opposition. If they lose, youngsters lose against Premier League Burnley, you come away and you go, you know what, they give it the best, well done to the lads, unlucky. If they win, you're thinking, Jesus Christ, fair play to these youngsters. But at least you come away with no injuries to any first-team players as well. And I think you give a few of them a rest. Alex Robertson might be looking again like 20 minutes. You don't know. He might, Turnbull is not quite 100% yet, I don't think. But Joe, a game for him to start if he needs minutes. Callum Chambers, give him some minutes. I'd much rather him play the captain in the league. So,
agreed. Howell says, do you boys think our play is too predictable?
I think no. I think we get the ball forward quite often. I think what's predictable is when we do in the final third. We look to get the ball in other channels in the final third. And you get to that point thinking, right, they're going to put a cross in, but we don't. We just look to put me the pass and back across lines. I think that's where we are too predictable, is in the final third.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that as well. Effort is still so much better than last season. Just a blip, but I think it's time to Isaac and Robbo get their chance.
Yeah, that's the thing. The effort, just keep putting the effort in. And again, it's a lot of kids playing the first season of professional football in the first team. So again, if someone has a bad day today, don't put against them.
And for me, right, I know they beat us 3-1 today, right? But the attitude and the mentality, they did, obviously we nicked our goal back. What was it? Probably about 15 minutes to go, I think. 75th minute was it, or 77th minute or something. But, in fairness to the home supporters, right, everybody was, it erupted, didn't it? And it was a real thing. If we can nick another goal now within the next 5 minutes, a squeaky bum time for Bradford then, because they're holding on. We got the upper hand type of thing. But, it never happened. But, how many times have we been in, I think you said earlier, somebody was sat by you when they walked out after 30 minutes.
Yeah.
That could have quite easily have happened after, 49 minutes or something like that. We were 3-0 down.
I think a big difference between today as well and last season, right? And this is not against Reza, but this is some of the first team players from last season. It was a very senior squad last season, wasn't it? It wasn't many youngsters. And there was games where players were just jogging back. There was no real effort. We've lost this game. They're down tools, certain players would. And towards the end of Reza's time, some of the players just weren't putting the effort in, I don't think. Yeah. Today, 3-0 down, Rubin takes out one of the players, wins a throw-in. Joel Colwill comes on, 3-0 down, 3-1 down. He gets stuck into a challenge. The youngsters are still going for it. And again, these are kids, you shouldn't expect this from the youngsters. This is what the seniors should be doing to help the youngsters. But the youngsters are stepping up and taking responsibility. And as long as they keep doing that, if they make a mistake, I don't care, I'll back them all the way.
Yeah, no, agreed. This is an interesting one from Sue's, because obviously Wigan got a bit of a tune-in today as well, I think, against Bolton. I think it was 4-1 the last I've seen. I don't know if it finished 4-1. But that makes that an interesting game now next week, because obviously they're going to want to bounce back at home. we need to bounce back, and obviously we're away from home. It's got 0-0 written all over it, haven't it?
No, they got Paul Mullin, man. Apparently, he's the next best thing in football. Is it some that English club up in North Wales somewhere? The Liverpool club. North Wales are set up a loan to Wigan, isn't he? Again, we got a big side. Let's be honest, there's a big side having a bad time. If you go away there and nick an early goal, like Bradford did to us today now, all of a sudden then a misplaced pass, it's moans and groans. If you do that to them, you could turn them over. But again, we can't take it for granted. Like, you got to go and put the performance in. That's the thing.
Yeah. Just before we start wrapping up, because we have gone over the 45 minutes that I said we was going to do. We've just gone over the hour. It's not something I normally do when we do the 1927 club, but I was so impressed with this boy today. He's only 21, Bobby Painton. I think he's a Bradford boy. I thought he was outstanding in their midfield today. I thought he was brilliant.
It's good to see somebody
put something in the WhatsApp group, I think, before the start of the game saying, we need to be mindful of this young man today because he's got something about him. And yeah, I thought he was outstanding, and fair play to him. That kid's going to have a bright future if he keeps developing the way he is at 21.
Again, you've got a great manager, to be fair. Graham Alexander is a really good Football League manager. And again, you can see why they're having success now. Like, I'm surprised to see Port Vila with Darren Moore as the manager. I thought he'd be a bit higher because I really rate him as well.
Yeah.
But when you got a good manager around you, and I think when you got senior pros around you helping you as well, it really helps the development of youngsters, doesn't it?
Yeah. Right, before we finish off then, what did you get up to last night, bud? Anything exciting?
Cav event, but I just see Cav. My absolute dream player, like when I was a kid.
Yeah, great night, wasn't it? And fair play, he spoke so well. Still so passionate about Cardiff City. It was great to, listen to some of the stories from, obviously many moons ago, really. But you could still see that passion he had for the club. And I think he was a bit overwhelmed with the kind of reception that he got, because he did say a couple of times during the night that he wasn't expecting to kind of have the reception that he did. And it's just testament to the type of guy he was, and, what he done for us as for what he done for us then, really. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, what a play. Again, you think back to Cav, right? He could play the 6, he could play the 8, he could play a 10. He was so versatile. And like he said, some games they would pick the ball up, but if Ernie couldn't get beyond the defender, they would go to Thorny, and Thorny would win the flick ons. And if Ernie couldn't do it, then Cav would go forward, and he would get the goals. And you look at the players he had around him, Willie Boland, he had Gabs behind him, Collins. I mean, back then, Gareth Wally, Richard Langley, some of the players we had back then, like Neil Alexander, probably the best keeper, in my opinion, we've ever had. Like, the players, they were all leaders as well, and just he epitomised everything Cardiff City was back then. He was a hard-working midfielder, no nonsense, no shit. Everything you wanted in a player like. I'd give anything to have a captain like that again on the side right now.
Yeah. On that point, obviously, the live events. If you want to support the channel, you can become a member. You can do it two ways. You can do it by scanning the QR code, which will take you through to Ace Podcast Nation's Patreon, or you can also sign up as a member on Cardiff City World YouTube channel. And for that, then you do get access to member shows. You get early access to tickets for these live events. The next live event is, can you remember the date, Reese?
26th of October?
No, nearly, but not far off. October the 24th.
I'm going to be later, I
am. Again at Splott Cons in Cardiff, great venue. Jordan and Carly there do a great job when Si's there hosting the events. So Morrison will be at Splott Cons on the 24th of October. The tickets have been on sale to members already. So if you want to get tickets, they are open to the public now. Check the Ace Podcast Nation and the Cardiff City World social media platforms, or you can get in touch with myself, Reese, Si, Rob, and we can all point you in the right direction. But they're great nights in there. It was brilliant again last night. Fair play.
Oh, and we had a special guest appeals to me from a really talented musician.
Yes,
who gave a fantastic story and a brilliant song. And he was highlight of the night for me. He was.
Yes, he was a character, should we say, was John. But no, fair play. Everybody chuckled along, didn't they? And yeah, it was brilliant. But yeah, happy days. Right, love you and leave you. I've got to get my sandwiches ready for my night shift. Reese, thank you very much for tuning in, buddy. I shall catch up with you during the week. Members, there'll probably be a member show Monday evening, I believe. Sai will be back tomorrow for the breakdown. Keep tuned then for the rest of the content for the rest of the week. But thank you everyone for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Turn that frown upside down, Reese. Football's back on Tuesday.
Thank God. Up the Bluebirds.
No star pope.
Rascal Beats.
For your Caesar. Cardiff City, ride with me for your Caesar.